Welcome everyone to our Operational Services Intranet GIS, and today we're going to go over another application. It is going to be located under a spatial menu down behind underneath infrastructure, sewer, stormwater. So just select the stormwater, and this is going to launch our ArcGIS Server Application for stormwater. Now, as that's coming up, you'll see GIS Hansen Storm Water on the top. And just to give you a little background on this application is used for stormwater management and preventative maintenance through the Public Works Department. And reason why we have GIS/Hansen is because we use GIS, ArcGIS Service, in conjunction with the Hansen Work Order Management System. So those two work hand in hand. We use the same ID for both systems. That way we can synchronize both systems and the data will be consistent. And having said that, we're going to go ahead and touch base on the actual stormwater features. And by the way, stormwater system has over 11,000 control structures in the city, and that's 11,000 stormwater control structures in the private and public sector combined. It also has 246 miles of total storm pipe, which is again includes all of the private and public sector. Now that system has to be maintained. It doesn't maintain itself, unfortunately, so we need tools to get the job done. Now if you look on the top here, you'll notice certain buttons. You see the plus with the magnifying glass. So these are the zoom in, zoom out buttons. You can select that, select the point here, and then drag the box across and then release. Okay, and that's going to go ahead and zoom in that area. You have the minus, which is zoom out, pan, which is pan. Okay, a lot of these are pretty general type of buttons up here. Now the ruler is the measuring tool. Now you can use this for different applications. Say you want to take a distance. Click on this line feature. This symbol here is actually a stormwater manhole. So let's say we want to select the center of that storm manhole to the nearest property line. And you can select that and then double click on it. You'll get the measurement in miles. You can change it to feet, and that is 29.01 feet. And so we can use this in different ways. Up here is the point coordinates. Say we want to get the actual coordinates of this manhole, the stormwater manhole. You see the X and Y coordinates right here displayed. And this is an NED 83 state plane coordinates, and that's for the state plane coordinates. This can be used in communication transactions. Now, right here is a magnifier. This is just basically a magnifier that you can bring over different areas here without zooming in or zooming out. If you want to maybe magnify an ID or a particular area, you can just move this along here and it can give you that as well. So let's go ahead and identify some of our feature layers. The brown with the arrows, these are the stormwater pipes. So this carries the storm drains down the pipe into well, actually it gets collected by these catch basins or catch inlets depending where they're located at, and they flow with directional arrows towards this pipe, and a lot of times they go to a junction, maybe a storm manhole, for access and cleaning, and then it travels in this lateral 46, this is a 48-inch culvert pipe, into the lakes or canal with the head walls, which are in like a red box right here. If you look closer, you see acronyms. It will say for this ID we have STMH-42D-05. That stands for storm manhole in the subgrid area of 42D-05. So that is the fifth one in that subgrid. The CB acronym is catch basins, and that's -42-21. You see the IDs located up here. And any of these areas as well, you can also select this I button here, identify. If you select on any of the storm pipes, for example, or it could be any control points like catch basins or manhole, it shows the results on the top. Click on this, so it'll be a plus, then click on it again to expand it, and we're going to go to SD lines arc, storm drains lines arc, and when we expand that, it's going to give us additional information. Okay, and this is 218 feet, and you can use that in that regard. Also, sometimes you want information on the lake or canal. You can select this, and it'll give you that information on the top, and it has parcel size. It'll give you parcel data if you're interested, or if you're interested in the water bodies itself, click on the water bodies and expand that, and you can see it highlighting here. Now that jurisdiction is South Broward Drainage District, SBDD, perimeter 11,861 acres, 38 acres. So it'll give you additional information with the actual lakes and canals, including maintenance jurisdiction, if that is something that comes into play. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and utilize some of our search and find functions. And the search and find functions up here, you can look at it on task. Sometimes you will get an actual, maybe an address, that's an approximate address, and they may call in a particular problem with the flooding or a storm drain backed up, and they may get an address over the phone or other means, like 2401 Southwest 83rd Terrace. Just put a space in between the house number, direction, and the street name. Okay, and then click on address approximator. Searching, it puts it right under the results under the first line. Expand the plus sign. Now it's going to give you two choices to see if you meant terrace or avenue. We did main terrace, so we're going to go ahead and right click on that item and then zoom to it. When we zoom to it, it's going to go there like MapQuest or Google, and it's going to put a pin right here in the middle of the screen. You'll see this blue pin. Now we're a little bit zoomed out, so what you will probably do is take this magnifying glass and make our box right here, release it, and it's going to go ahead and zoom in. Okay, now when it does that, you will see the actual pin right here, and this is 2401. Notice that there's a 2401 right here, so it did mark it close. Now sometimes you will actually have an actual we usually, by the way, we use the address approximator because sometimes you may have an area that you want to locate, but you don't have homes developed quite yet, so you can use this address approximator. Maybe you might deal with intersections, you can use that as well. But if you have an exact address, you can use a parcel address. And in this case, we had 2401 Southwest 83 Terrace. When you click find, it's going to actually look for that, and when you expand it, it'll bring it up, and you just check that. And you see it highlighting in this light brown color here, 2401. In either case, you'll notice that there is a catch basin located very close to the edge of this. This is something we may want to check out. Now, we can go ahead and click the identify button here, right here, and then it'll go ahead and bring that up. You'll see three choices down here: storm drainage catch basin point. You can expand that. Now you'll see the actual catch basin right here. Now this ID CB-18B-25, again, catch basin is the feature identifier, then is your subgrid area, and then 25 is the 25th item in that subgrid area. Now there'll be times you're actually going to use this ID to generate a Hansen work order. So you're going to have to transfer that over to the Hansen system. When we do our switch, we will actually see that information in the Hansen system. Here, if you go to Asset, this is one way of doing it. Go under Stormwater, we go under Storm Inlet or Storm Catch Basin, and well, you can actually bring that function inside there. So CB-18B, that's 25. It's the same as we have in ArcGIS Server. And then, of course, right here is the load button, and it loads it up. It brings up the information in the Hansen, and to generate a work order, you click on this action button, and it'll say create work order, service request, or schedule unit maintenance. You can do that, and this part will actually be carried out in a different training module, training session. And if you have any questions on more details on these type of work orders, you can contact the Hansen administrator. Okay, so now we're going to actually switch back to our ArcGIS server here. Now, having done that, you can see the relationship of whenever we need to locate any of these stormwater structures, we have the identifier. We see the relationship that is built on the topography, on how it connects, and where it travels, and where we may be able to diagnose the problem of any type of blockage as well. And we can also generate work orders through this. So this is a tool to help get that done. And there are a number of other options here as well. I'm not going to go into every single item, but this is the major points of this application. Down here as well, you have overview pan button. If you just hover over it and select it and then move it, you can just pan this way as well. There's also a navigation tool here that you can move in and out. You can just select this little toolbar here and say I want to scroll out. It will actually zoom out and give you an overview picture. So this is the GIS Hansen Storm Water application. In the future, this GIS may be co-linked to another system such as Munis, and that's a transition that will probably happen in the future at some time. But right now we want to go ahead and continue this relationship, and I hope this information has been useful to you. Take care and God bless.